The mitzvahs of the day today is Baruch Hashem is the 11th of Tishrey. We are after Yom Kippur. Be'ezrat Hashem. The first mitzvah is mitzvah number 19. We're prohibited from eating chametz on Pesach. Shelo lechol chametz b'Pesach. And mitzvah number 20, we're not allowed to have any chametz seen in your possession. So let's start from there. Today's shiur is Hashem sponsored with Mishpat Cheskel Nathaniel ben Rabbi Avishai Halevi Ashlita, and Bezrat Hashem also l'Refuah Shtam Kol Am Yisrael B'Cholam Lechaya Vat Leah. Okay, if you want to sponsor the shiurim, you could reach out. Mitzvah number 19. Shelo le'echol chametz b'Pesach. We're not allowed to eat chametz on Pesach. Thank you. Sheneimar and Shmot. It says clearly in 13th chapter, pasuk Gimel. V'lo yachel chametz. You're not allowed to eat chametz. Clearly it says so. Mishoshem mitzvah. What is related to the foundation of this mitzvah? Mashikatavnu b'shar mitzvot Pesach. You have to understand that in the entirety, what we have been learning till now, all related to Pesach, the same thing. We want to impress on a person the importance of the remembrance of Yetziat Mitzrayim, coming out of Egypt, and the whole mahut is obviously that we want to remember how to come close to Hashem constantly. This is our goal. The goal is to emulate Hashem, and you could emulate something only where you love Him. As we see that people, they have deal ben elef dalot. People are going crazy for some musicians that they all overdose and drug themselves and kill themselves, right? For nonsense. And people are literally emulate them. They try to copy them and they sing songs like them. And when I was growing up, I was making voices like the musicians that I was growing up on, or movies that we grow up on, cartoons we were growing up on when I was a child, right? You were trying to emulate something that you love. Something you love, you emulate. And unfortunately, our minds are so small, we love to see things visualized in front of us, and only then we become in love. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, there is no vision, you cannot see me. But it says in the Torah, B'ezrat Hashem, right after Sukkot, we're going to start learning at night from 7 at night, 7 and 8. Not Mincha Arvit, every night, 7 B'ezrat Hashem, Thursday, from Sunday to Thursday. We're going to be learning Ahavat Chesed, Sefer Ahavat Chesed. From Chaim, we brought 13, somebody donated 13 books, Baruch Hashem. We're going to be learning here, but hopefully with a group. Everybody's welcome to come, and Hollywood will be here right on Griffin, 35th Avenue. Bezrat Hashem, we're going to be learning such a thing called Ahavat Chesed, doing Chesed properly, not just, I'm doing a mitzvah. Some people think they're doing a mitzvah, they're actually doing Averot. The guy is doing a Chesed, and you'll learn from Chaim that he's actually fulfilling the biggest Averot, and Sitra Achra is very happy with him, because he does not do it properly. So there's a lot of rules how to follow it, and there's a whole book, a very thick book, Bezrat Hashem, it describes that. So, but again, he says over there clearly, 8 times in the Torah it's mentioned to emulate Hashem. So how can you emulate Him? How can you emulate? Just mention one mitzvah of the Pesach and that's it? No. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wrote a mitzvah, which is like 16 or 17 mitzvah just connected to the night of Pesach, the Korban Pesach, all the concepts. He's more and more just enumerating for us to come closer to Hashem, to understand Him, and to appreciate this fact. Not just He took out his Egypt. Oh, Rabbi, He took us out of Egypt. That's very nice. He took us out of Egypt. Remember that. No. We want to understand Hashem. What He's doing. What is His purpose. What is the whole concept of it. And that's why we're learning all this, to come closer and closer, and to really understand Hashem. That's the only way you could emulate Him. How can you copy? How can a musician copy a voice of another musician? How can let's say what they call them, the fans, right? The fans of the musicians. Only because they get engrossed into it, and they really get into the music, and they really get into the person, and only then they could try to emulate him. So that's why but it just to give you an example, you have to have some kind of example to learn the Torah properly. Dinei mitzvah. So you have to know that all the related mitzvot connected to this mitzvah, anything that has any gram of any sound of chametz, anything that has any physical aspect of chametz, that's hamishat minei dagan. This is specifically only the 5 types of grains that we know. Those are not related to it. We're not talking about rice, and we're not talking about all the other things that the people make bread today out of. Those are the only 5 types of grains that the Torah says are in the Rachamim explaining to us, which become chametz. Those are not allowed to eat. V'din halash otan b'mei perot. What happens if you mixed it with the fruit with a fruit, what's his name, water juice instead of water. All what happens if you have chametz in a dish? What happens to that? What happens to the utensils that you use constantly to make chametz in them? What do you make? Macaroni you cook. People tell me, or in my house we don't do anything chametz with the dishes. No, you do. All your pasta, shmasta, all the things that you cook in chametz. Most of the stuff is chametz. Grilling, cheese grilled cheese, whatever they call this. Your tanurs, your ovens, all the things that we use with chametz. You have to learn the Pesachim. Again, the halachot are. We're not here to learn halacha mamash and related to what's chametz. We're here to just indicate that mitzvah number 19 is talking about isur eating chametz. Be'ezrat Hashem, we will establish a halacha, and we will be learning. Somebody gave me a complaint why we're not learning halachot before certain chagim, which is very important to learn the halachot, but we're not. Baruch Hashem, we have 5 starim, we have 5 different lessons every day that we're involved with, and halacha was not put in there yet for a reason, because first we want to establish the main things, and the halacha will be learned Be'ezrat Hashem before Shacharit every morning, as I told you already before. 5 o'clock starts over here, tikkun chatzot v'rabim with the community hopefully, and then right after 1 hour Gemara for the beginners, and right after that hopefully we'll have 15 to half an hour, depends on the nets, to have halacha, and there will be halacha in another Yomah. Will be hopefully maybe in Ben Ishchai. We'll see. We bring in other stuff. We'll see. Okay. Minoheget bechol makom bechol zman. The isur of chametz, mitzvah number 19. The isur of chametz is for anybody, man, woman, and also any time during Pesach. Bechol makom, and also anywhere. Let's say a person moved to a moon, like we said that they have people living in spaceships. Right, if it's a Jew that they had over there, right, Mr. Ramon. Remember Ramon 2007 was that?
Ramon, yeah.
Unfortunately, when the spaceship blew up, there was a Jew. If he was there during Pesach, it would be asur for him to eat chametz and Be'ezrat Hashem. Okay. Anyone who transgresses and eats, this we're talking about mitzvah. You're not allowed to eat chametz on Pesach, but this guy ate chametz on Pesach. Right? What do we do with him? B'mizid chayav karet. There is no skila. How are you going to punish? Karet. For a person who eats chametz, his neshama will be ripped apart, whatever that means, or he will die before the age of 60. B'shogeg chayav chatat kevuah. If somebody did it by mistake, he has to bring a korban in Beit HaMikdash. However, it's out of this world. If you learn the Gemara, you learn something beautiful. You will learn that actually karet of Pesach is only for 7 days. If he dies within 7 days, he has a problem. But it says over there, beautiful, the pasuk, you learn in the pasuk, the Rachamim teach us, that this first Shabbat that comes after Pesach is mechaper lo al karet. Forgives him of the karet.
He's welcome back into
He's welcome to the club, right?
Okay.
No, he's not welcome, but he has to do tshuva, I guess.
You go to jail for a week, basically.
Yeah, if he dies before he does tshuva, he has a problem. But the Shabbat, there's a Gemara discussion, the Shabbat helps him out to bring him back. Shabbat actually is mitaken all averot, including Avodah Zarah.
Wow.
Somebody did Avodah Zarah, let's say on Sunday, Monday, whatever it is. Now he comes to Shabbat, he's been chaper.
If he keeps
Shabbat, yes, if he keeps Shabbat properly, just keeping Shabbat is already forgives the sin of idol worship and the whole thing. So that's why this whole business of this whole thing, labeling people, puzzling people, not in my realm, because we don't know. I tell very important. This is going to be the question on the topic of the YouTube. Why Yoshka was not spoken against by Tanaim? In the whole Shas, I don't know the whole Shas, but I spoke to a lot of Rabbanim, Baruch Hashem, that learned the whole Shas, and I asked them, show me one place in the whole Shas where any Tana speaks against Yoshka. Where any Tana speaks against Yoshka. For those who don't understand, they call him Jesus, Jesus. Why nobody talks about against him?
Cheese and fries.
Yeah. Why doesn't nobody talk about him in Tanaim? You want to hear why? Do you want to understand why? What I'm thinking? Because they were all afraid. Tanaim was the age of his life, and they were all afraid. What were they afraid of? He's going to keep Shabbat. He keeps Shabbat properly. All his sins are forgiven. He is beloved by Hashem. And the Tanaim said, how can we speak about somebody who Hashem loves? What did we say yesterday? We were crying, Yom Kippur, the whole day we were crying. What about if I spoke against somebody that you love? Imagine. So Tanaim, or if you see in the Gemara, in the whole Shas, you will not find one Tana ever say one word about Yoshka. Amazing. The Amoraim bombard him the whole day. Why? Because when he died, he didn't do tshuva. Now they have no problem attacking the guy. But the Tanaim were so afraid to say one word, one bad word. The guy was doing whatever he was doing. So many avirot, znut, adultery, whatever you want to know what the guy was doing. And they didn't say one word bad about him. The Tanaim were afraid. Not because they were afraid of him. He had no power. Today, I should be more afraid talking about against him because he has 1.1 billion crazy people following him. And then somebody going to come and say, Rabbi Sofer, you crazy? How dare you? I had actually one missionary in my house. And I said, you're better than Yoshka. And he went crazy. I told him, you're better than Yoshka. I told him, why? And I'm better than Moses. He said, what? I said, yes, Moses will give up everything in Shacharit. Now I'll come down here to make one bracha. You see? Just before the shiur, I made a bracha. I enjoyed it. Moshe Rabbeinu will do anything to say the bracha. So in that respect, I'm better than him. And I said,
a position.
that's right. And Yoshka, he will. So I told this other missionary, I said, you're better than Yoshka because you're alive. You could do other things. He's dead already, finished. He's not here anymore. He got so upset at me. So so these people are crazy. They're trying mamash. But imagine Tanaim did not say one word, and Amoraim bombard him nonstop.
Tanaim, or what you're suggesting is that they didn't say one word because they were doing the right thing, so to speak.
No, they were afraid that he did tshuva. And they didn't know about that he did tshuva, and now they're talking about somebody that Hashem loves.
Right.
Today, what do we do? Today we bombard everybody. The guy is still alive. And then we're wondering why our children of derech.
No, I get it.
Some Rabbanim are upset, why are the children of derech? And why? In the meanwhile, they're bombarding every rabbi in the world, in the hemisphere. Shem Rachamim aleinu. Mitzvah chav. Shelo yireh lanu chametz b'Pesach. We're not allowed to have chametz to be seen in our properties on Pesach. Shelo yireh chametz b'chol moshvotenu kol shivat yemei Pesach. The all 7 days of Pesach, we're not allowed to see any chametz in our possessions. As we already discussed, the goy brings it in, a worker, whatever, the laborer, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about yours. It has to be yours. I have to hit him again. The Elal guy, or Mr. Rosenberg, how many planes he has? Every plane has to have no chametz on Pesach. Yeah. While they're flying also, everything. There is no excuses. Sheneimar, it says over there, Perek Yud Gimel, in Shmot, Pasuk Zayin. You're not allowed to have any chametz in your possessions, and you're not allowed to have any living things in all your lands. Shivat Yamim, all 7 days. ואין אלא שנלווים בשני עניינים, אבל הם בעניין אחד. So the Rabbi wants to explain it's not two different avirot. It's not telling us that one is that what is it? לא יראה לך שאור בכל גבוליך, לא יראה לך חמץ. So you might think that chametz and seor are some kind of different connotations, but it both means chametz and seor that is defiled or became living. That's going to be a prohibition. It's one prohibition, the Rabbi says. So the Rabbi, it says over there in the Gemara in Beitzah. If you want to learn why is there chametz and seor, what's the difference between them? Why the Torah tells you with the word chametz and then it ends off with seor. Learn in Masechta Beitzah or there Beitzah. Pasuk Daf Zayin Amud Bet. Lomar lecha hu chametz hu seor. To teach you, it's the same one. כלומר, אין הפרש בין החמץ עצמו ובין דבר החמץ. So he's saying that, I guess the seor over here is something that makes other things chametz, like we have yeast. So you might think that yeast has a less maybe connotation. Maybe chametz you could eat, nobody eats yeast. You used yeast to make chametz. Okay, so the Rabbi says it doesn't matter. There's no difference between something that is chametz or something that makes chametz, like the yeast. Therefore, it's going to be Isur number 20 if somebody has any of those things in possession. Somebody would say, I have a whole warehouse, right? I have a whole warehouse of yeast. The guy is in business of yeast. So that makes things a chametz. So maybe he is, or sourdough. They have sourdough that, what is it called? Starter, I think it's called. The starter of something, of the sourdough. I never made sourdough yet. But even though I eat it, Baruch Hashem, it's very healthy I suggest it to everybody to eat. So but real ones, I take make sure they ferment for 3 days or more, not 1 day. Most sourdoughs in the bakery, only 1 day, so fermentation still makes bloating. But if you eat sourdough, which is more than 3 days, doesn't make your body bloat. And Baruch Hashem, I enjoy it. Right. So Mishashei Mitzvah, Mashikatamna B'Shar Mitzvot Pesach. Again, the same thing that the rabbis. Again, we want to impress on you to love Hashem and to come close to Hashem and to appreciate that He took us out of Egypt, and that's how we're going to emulate Him, B'Zrat Hashem. As we said, the man has a mitzvah to emulate Him, and the woman have a mitzvah to help her husband to emulate Hashem, not the other way around. The fakers today were spreading around. The men are made to help their wives. I don't know where that Torah comes from. The name of Buharim Psachim, all the Gemara is discussing in Perek Gimel, Perek Aleph, Beis, and Gimel. The three prakim discuss completely all the rules about Pesach. This mitzvah is completely and at all times in Zacharim and the Kevod. Even somebody is in a spaceship still has to fulfill this mitzvah. He is prohibited of having any chometz. How he's going to get rid of chometz in the spaceship, I don't know. Mr. They have some kind of assets.
Throw it out the window.
Throw it out of the window? I don't know. It's so easy. Okay. Anyway, then it's gonna land in our lake or somewhere. Or in my backyard, he throws it out of it. It's just a joke. Oh, somebody went transgressed. Here, right now, this will be a good question. He took chametz and he brought it into his house. So over there, somebody who he didn't need the whole isur of eating chametz. That's correct. The soul gets cut off. But what about just bringing it to your house? Not a goy, not a worker who just brought it in as he was laboring, fixing up your house or whatever it was, whatever they were doing. If it's mutar le'alacha, it's another question. But let's say you have a cleaning lady. Well, that's not mutar. Cleaning ladies are mutar and encourageable to help out our wives, not men helping out at home. Cleaning ladies. And if you think you don't have enough money, say, Hashem, please give me enough money so that my cleaning lady will do the cleaning and I'll be learning in Bet Midrash. That's what a man's supposed to be doing, not cleaning the houses. Hashem. So he says, if you took chametz and you brought it into your house, the rabbi doesn't say how much, even a little bit looks like, and he brings it, he has to get lashes. Why? Because he did an action with his hands. We already explained, but if some person didn't get rid of the chametz, it's right, he didn't do nothing. He just left the chametz in his house. For that, he doesn't get lashed. Bringing it into his possessions on Pesach, on the 7 days, that would give him lashes. As the rabbi explained to us, that any so you're gonna say again, we have to understand that we don't give just lashes. We have to give him warning, and we have to warn a guy. You can't bring chametz there, and he says, "I don't care. You're gonna get lashed. I don't care." And then brings it into the house. So you might say, "Well, what are you gonna ask Ram?" It was here. He would ask, "Wait a minute, Rabbi, but I could get rid of the chametz. Maybe get rid of it. Then why should I? What's his name? Why should I get lashed?" You hear the question? Again, the Torah tells you to get rid of the chametz. There's a mitzvah to get rid of all the chametz. So maybe you have a aseh will push that the guy transgressing avira, mitzvah number 20. He brought the chametz to his house, but there's another place that says get rid of the chametz. So now that maybe he could get rid of the chametz and not get lashed for it. It's a question that we have to delve into because it's something that's not what's his name. I mean, the rabbi doesn't say over here that he doesn't get lashed. He should have said let him take it out. And he won't get lashed. It's like lav and itak, right? We have a mitzvah doraita to take out all the chametz from your house. So this guy transgressed the isur. He brought the chametz into his house.
Would be a difference if it's on purpose or not on purpose.
No. He did it on purpose. He brought in chametz into his house on purpose, and he left it in his house. Right? They told him don't do it. So the rabbi says he gets lashed. Right? But I don't understand. There is a mitzvah that tells us that take out all the chametz. Well, Tashbit, remember we learned the mitzvah? You take out all the chametz from your house? Remember that? We had that. No number, people think...
presumably before Pesach, obviously.
Right. So, okay, I understand.
You do your cleaning.
Yeah, but let's say you found Pesach, you put chametz on Pesach. The halacha says you cover it. On Yom Tov, you're not allowed to do nothing with Yom Tov, right?
If you found it
on Yom Tov, okay. But if you found it on Chol HaMoed, you destroy it. Okay. So I'm trying to say that since there is such a concept of destroying it after, let's say you found it on Yom Tov, right? If you found it on Yom Tov, you destroy it. So too, maybe in this case where the guy brought in, mitzvah number 9, mitzvah hashbatat chametz. You have a mitzvah to destroy all the chametz from your house. So now he was over. Rabbi, you hear the question? He was over isur number 20. Lo yiray chametz. He brought in chametz into his house on Pesach. The rabbi says over here he gets lashed. I don't understand my question. I didn't see the question anymore, right? But he says, maybe Mistam everybody's talking about it since if I'm asking the question, that means it was a question asked before. So maybe Lechora, that in this case, where he brought chametz into his house on Pesach, he transgressed number 20. But he still has the mitzvah number 9 that says destroy the chametz. For instance, if you found chametz on Pesach that you didn't destroy, on Yom Tov you cover it up. on Chol HaMoed you destroyed. So to over here, let's tell the guy go destroy it and be patur from Malkut. That's the question. If you have an answer, get back to me. You guys, 754-280-5656. If you have an answer, please give me a call, or you could post a comment. We'll read the comment. Have a wonderful day, guys. Make a lot of money without any headache.